My name is Kylee Bennett. I serve as the Youth Wellbeing Coordinator for the Community Wellbeing Team at Parkview Health, serving all of Northeast Indiana while also working collaboratively with groups across the state. In my role, the team and I get the amazing opportunity to positively impact the lives of the youth in our community, as well as those who touch their lives, including parents, guardians, educators, youth workers, administrators, and so many more wonderful people. Not only do I have this role at Parkview, but even more meaningful to me is that I am a mom to two amazing children. So why is Parkview interested in Farm to School? First off, it empowers children and families to engage in healthy food habits while also helping to strengthen the local economy. Farm to School programs help kids learn about healthy food, and it encourages them to try something new, something they might not have ever seen or heard of before, giving them a chance to enjoy a new food or enjoy it prepared in a different way. The educational opportunities offered through Farm to School programs provide a chance for kids to learn where our food comes from and helps everyone develop a lifelong appreciation for farms and farmers. When we consider where a child spends the majority of their time, it is at school. This tends to mean that much of a child's daily diet is consumed while they are at school. Breakfast, lunch, sometimes snacks. For some, this even means summer too. It's important these kids have access to healthy food options so they can thrive.
Many times the American way of eating, whether it be processed food, foods loaded with salt, fat, and sugar, and low in vegetables and whole grains, sets us up for many chronic diseases. In fact, we know the beginnings of heart disease and obesity can easily start in youth. A poor diet is associated with poor growth and development, compromised immunity, as well as behavioral problems. But when we engage in Farm to School initiatives, kids are exposed to more fresh produce brimming with life-saving nutrition through their school lunch program. They may taste things they've never had before, and when the produce is fresh picked, it has more nutrition versus produce that has been trucked from long distances. Farm to School activities broadly provide a robust platform for fresh food initiatives. Farm to School fosters a connection between fresh, healthy local food and its recipients, our future generations in the school setting. Farm to School culinary activities can also offer ways for kids to taste the bounty of our region. And creative engagements are happening in our community, such as the Power of Produce program. This program occurs at select farm markets in our region and offers a platform for kids to engage in the farmer market experience.
We think that Farm to School is really important for our age group, which is our newborns all the way up to early childhood, which would go to about 7 or 8, because kids really need to know where the food they have comes from. One of the ways that we engage them is actually having them grow the food that they eat. One of the biggest reasons why we really want to encourage kids to get out and garden is the fresh air and the physical activity is really, really important, but it underlies the fact that they'll know where their food comes from. They'll know what goes into making a tomato. They'll be able to recognize the tomato, which a lot of kids think of a tomato as just a key to ketchup. This into the classroom by being able to sow our seeds early on into the year. And we actually take some of our produce and they actually bring them into the kitchen sections of all of the classrooms that we have. One of the biggest things with early childhood is that tactile actually getting into it. If we show them a picture of a green bean, they see a picture of a green bean. But they can't see it, they can't touch it, they can't feel it. They can't hear the snap when it snaps, and they definitely can't taste the picture. So encouraging them to get out and involved in the ground is really important.
The Farm to School initiative provides students with the knowledge and insight about where and how our food is produced. It's not produced at the grocery store, as some of our younger students may think. If a tower garden is available, students can have the experience of growing healthy and delicious produce indoors, such as strawberries, spinach, and cucumbers. Good. More importantly, students learn to appreciate farmers for having the skill to grow foods that nourishes us on land that is well preserved for this use.
Hello, my name is Julia Smith. I'm an assistant professor in early childhood education in the School of Education at Parkview University, Fort Wayne. I also spent some time working for the Center for Regional Food Systems at Michigan State University. I was a farm to school specialist there, and that was wonderful. I went all over the state of Michigan learning about farm to preschool and farm to school programs. And I think it is just wonderful to see students' eyes light up when they, for example, when the local farmer comes in with produce from their farm and they do taste testing in the cafeterias. And this here is the School of Education Urban Garden, which was founded in 2019. This was funded by a grant, a collective impact grant, and the beds and the garden were developed by students and master gardeners working together. The goal of the project is to engage students with the community and also to learn about teaching practices that they can implement in the classroom that meet K through 12 standards while using farm to school as a tool to accomplish that goal. There's a lot of ways that we can connect farm to school to learning opportunities for children, and also providing them those opportunities to eat better and eat healthy, nutritious local food.
Well, working in a school garden really helps support the school curriculum because the kids will actually be able to see what they're being taught in class, whether it's a science class, math class, where they can do some counting and things like that. I'm so excited to see the Northeast Indiana schools become a part of the Farm to School program because of what everyone will learn, especially the students. The students will be able to learn about growing and food and be able to try different foods, and it'll be so great for the farmers and the communities, economies, and growth of relationships.
Johnny May Farm is a project that has a twofold mission of 1, providing affordable produce to the community, and 2, providing education. Our impact is to do both of those things under one roof, under one project. We joke that we sneak in the education with the vegetables.
So at Johnny May Farm, one of the really neat things, if you look around, the rows are spread out pretty far, and that's on purpose. The farm isn't really set up to do high production, so we're not looking to get the most out of it that we can. We really want it to be an educational farm. So we're growing things in such a way that people can walk through the rows and they can move and experience the farm. We are growing a variety of things. And so you can walk through and you can see okra, you can see eggplant, we tried artichokes this year. It didn't go great, but it was fun to try. Kids that come to the farm, they've never seen any of these things growing in a garden. It's always been something that they've seen at the store, if they've tried it at all. So it's really cool having just the wide variety of things to grow for the kids to see.
The children in the neighborhood, when they come to Johnny May Farm, learn so much. The children learn that there is the possibility of having agriculture in their own backyards, that we are producing literal tons of food in the middle of a neighborhood. And they get to learn about how things grow and what inputs that we need to put in to make things grow really, really well. But mostly they get to learn that vegetables are really cool. They're neat.
Sourcing more local food into our schools will have a very positive impact on our local food economy. I think the greatest lesson that we can take here in Northeast Indiana from all the school districts across the country who are a little further ahead in this than we are, they've got perhaps a decade of experience. And I think in reading what they've learned,
The greatest takeaway I think we can take here in Northeast Indiana is this sense of collaboration, that each school doesn't have to build a relationship between one school and one farmer, that our schools can work together, they can collaborate together to decide what products that they want to purchase. For instance, through our Harvest of the Month program that we're doing right now, we have 24 products that we're going to be highlighting within our schools. And now we can work with all the different farms across our region. When they know what those 24 products are, then they can come together. The school doesn't have to just source from one farm. We can get multiple farms together to not only plan that particular harvest, but then to aggregate that together from multiple farms. And then we can also have opportunities to add value to those particular products. Products don't always have to be used fresh. One of the wonderful ways to source local food into our schools is to create processed products from those. Tomato sauce, salsa, sauerkraut, who knows what it might be. Blanch and freeze green beans or sweet corn that our students can enjoy all year round. By working together, we can keep these dollars within our community. You know, our school districts are spending lots of money on food right now. And if we can capture those dollars within our own community, then we get that wonderful multiplier effect so that those dollars will recirculate within our own urban and rural communities in our area.
I feel our cafeterias are simply a great opportunity for our students to continue learning within their day. It's a location that every student has to visit every day, so why not take the opportunity to teach them about the food that they are actually eating? You can simply hang a poster in an area where the students can read about the Harvest of the Month. You can serve the fruit or the vegetable so they can see, smell, and taste it. I have cafeteria aides that join in the fun. They have the students taste it all at the same time. And then he or she will read them the details of the health benefits for that particular fruit or vegetable, where it was grown, even some ideas for using it in recipes. I am currently serving such items as milk, sweet corn, melons, and apples locally. I would like to be able to offer proteins and possibly even some grains, items that we could source more than just the summer months, but all of the rest of the months that we are in session for school. I would hope that they have a better awareness of where their food actually comes from, which will then hopefully lead to them being more curious of new foods that they're not accustomed to eating. Children are offered foods that their parents like and that they actually prepare within the house. But what about all of the other foods that they don't like, or maybe they can't obtain due to funding or availability? So schools are a great source for that opportunity. I see students that do not realize that chickens and cows actually have bones, that these animals can give us eggs and milk and cheese. I would like for them to realize what corn and soybeans that are in the fields, what they're used for, to be able to see the entire circle of life that the farm can teach them, from growing the grains to feeding them to the animals, to using the animals, to putting the manure on the fields, to the whole circle of life that they would be able to learn on that farm, as well as how hard a farmer has to work in order to bring food to their table, and to never take that food for granted, that it's not always originating from that grocery store, that it has to come from some place before it even can come through the back doors of the grocery store.
Yeah, so primarily our main school we sell to is Manchester Community Schools. We do the high school, the intermediate school, and also the elementary school. And on occasion, not often, but a few times a year, we sell to Wabash City Schools as well. But we would sell a lot of lettuce mix, washed and bulked. In lesser amounts, we do slicing tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. We have radishes, carrots, onions, bell peppers, the sweet snack peppers, cucumbers. That advice I would give to other farms that are wanting to sell to local schools is, number one, make sure before you sell to schools you have a consistent quality and a consistent supply of the product. Because in schools and large institutions like that, they're looking for consistency. They don't want to have some one week and not enough the next week, good quality one week and bad quality the next. They want to make sure they know what they're getting. Beyond that, start small. Don't jump in and provide 50 different items. Jump in and provide a couple of items and then work up from there. It would be definitely communicate. Make sure you communicate with the food service director, the business director, the kitchen staff, making sure that they know what's coming up. If you see that you're going to have a shortage one week, make sure they know that. The impacts we've seen here at River Ridge Farm from selling to local community schools would be obviously the economic value that we have especially in the summertime when school starts back in July and August, is what we call the summer glut. We have the most cucumbers, the most tomatoes, the most of everything. And it's also when every other farm and every other garden has that too. And so sometimes our demand can kind of tank a little bit. And the schools come back in August, which was sometimes a slump time for us, and they pick up large volumes. So instead of having bushels of tomatoes that go to waste, we now have a market and an outlet for them. Another thing would be just the fact of local food awareness, that the staff and students that are there, they like what they're getting, and then they ask, well, where can we get this to have at our own table? And so it has bred the awareness of, hey, there's a local farm that's feeding us at school, and we can also go to their farm and get the same things to have at our dinner table.
Every year during the month of October, we celebrate National Farm to School Month. The designated month is a campaign that recognizes, appreciates, and celebrates the many connections happening nationwide between youth, families, and their community food systems. It is hosted by the National Farm to School Network, which is a hub comprised of information, advocacy, and networking that helps communities that are striving to bring food and agricultural education, local food procurement, and school gardens into early care sites and schools. It takes a community to feed a community is a motto used by the Farm to School Network that has been especially true this year as our communities, schools, early childcare sites, and the food system has been and continues to be impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. This is why the network is approaching this year's campaign as a time to recognize everyone who has contributed to feeding our youth and communities. Food service directors, farmers, educators, bus drivers, volunteers, and so many more. These people have always been essential. Farm to School wouldn't be in existence without all of them. Parkview believes it is time for Northeast Indiana to bring Farm to School programs to schools across the region. By collectively working together on these initiatives, we know we will see healthier kids and strong local economies. In the fall of 2019, Parkview was awarded a grant from the USDA, which helped to support the creation of the Northeast Indiana Farm to School team. Since then, we have been working to bring a diverse group of stakeholders to the table to discuss the many facets of Farm to School.
In 2021, working with our partners at the Northeast Indiana Local Food Network, Parkview Health, Purdue Extension, and Wells County Revitalization, our Northeast Indiana Farm to School team was awarded a USDA Farm to School implementation grant to expand our work.
We have gathered a strong team who has a shared vision, but each with their own reason why this initiative is so important to them and to their organization.
One of the reasons why we encourage kids to come out and garden is actually if you give a child a piece of broccoli on their plate, they may or may not buy into it the first time they've seen the broccoli. If you give the child the seed, and that child takes the seed and puts it in the ground, waters it and cares for it, the difference is now it's not a piece of broccoli on the plate, it's their stock of broccoli. It's their broccoli that they've taken care of, they've watered, and they've had it grow up. And now it's their lunch, their snack, their dinner. But not only that, it's for their friends and their family. The why behind this is knowing that they are capable of growing something to the point where it matures and it feeds people.
When kids eat a healthier diet, they grow and learn to their full potential. They are more likely to stay well and miss less school. It can help them be focused and resilient. When adults provide healthy meals for their kids, they are sending a powerful message about the importance of well-being in their family.
I think in Indiana right now, there are a lot of opportunities for Farm to School. You know, the people I've met since I moved here 5 years ago are very excited about Farm to School. There's a lot of good leadership right now in the community supporting Farm to School. Really well with Northeast Indiana's tradition of being an agriculture area. And we have just a vibrant Amish community here that has really been doing farm to fork for generations.
My favorite part about the farm is the children. Being able to interact with kids that don't even know what the word compost means and suddenly they're composting. to be able to walk around the farm and have them sample things that they've never had an opportunity to sample or even see growing. To be able to learn that, you know, the children, there's one child that I walked around with, he doesn't like tomatoes or basil, but he'll eat snap peas if he has to, but he really likes cucamelons. And so it's being able to explore these things with the kids and give them an opportunity to explore plant sciences and nutrition and just have an investment into something really cool in their neighborhood.
The thing that excites me most about the Farm to School initiative that we have here in Northeast Indiana is the sense of what we can do together. So this is not only creating opportunities for individual farms, but it's also creating opportunities for local food entrepreneurs, giving them this steady market, the commitment that they'll have with a contract to supply foods to our schools. This will give them the confidence to expand their crop production and help diversify the different revenue streams that we have on our farms across this community. And that will make those farms more resilient, because that's what local food is all about, having this strong network of resilient farms that are growing food for us.
So those have been some really, probably the two major impacts that we've seen here on our farm. It builds a local, stable economy. It's the local cash is going to local farms, back to the schools. It's a very good cycle that way. And then another thing that we never anticipated when we started selling to local schools is because what we're doing, is somewhat unique, and it also integrates with different things that they're teaching at school. So they do teach some food production things at school, and so it builds sometimes they'll bring school groups out here and they'll actually take tours of the farm. One of the classes, I actually go to the elementary school every year when they talk about solar energy, and I go in and I actually teach a unit on solar energy, because we use the greenhouses in the wintertime to produce food in a frozen tundra Indiana when local food is not even a normal possibility. And so we talk about how the sun comes into the greenhouse, the soil traps the heat, is released at night, and is able to actually grow the food that they're being served at their local schools. It's a teaching opportunity even for the students to find out where their food comes from, and that, again, that just builds that whole cycle where it's building the local food economy, it's building a stable cash flow within the community.
Farm to School makes sense to Parkview because we care about the health and well-being of our whole community. And Farm to School programming gives us a platform to educate the larger community, especially the youth, on the many health benefits of locally grown products. Some of these benefits include an increase in consumption of fruits and vegetables, and also the variety being eaten, improvements in food security and food access for families, engaging in more physical activity, and has the potential to minimize diet-related diseases in childhood that could continue on into adulthood, such as obesity and diabetes. In the end, everyone wins: kids, farmers, and communities. As a mom, Farm to School makes sense to me because it helps to encourage lifelong healthy eating habits. It is not just their dad and I encouraging and talking about healthy eating. Our kids are hearing about the value from someone else, not just mom and dad, and that does make a difference. When they fill their bodies with the most nutritious foods, they are more ready to learn and grow. I also value an engaging curriculum, and Farm to School initiatives embedded into the school curriculum does just that. It can tie into any subject: math, art, science, and more. These activities can offer a hands-on learning experience to enhance their knowledge on food, health, and agriculture. I want my kids to have these experiences early in their lives so they have a better opportunity to live a longer, healthier life and pass along those same habits and knowledge to their families. Our team is excited to work together to develop all of the opportunities this initiative offers to make our communities healthier and stronger. The mission of the Northeast Indiana Farm to School team is to collaborate through community partnerships to generate awareness, create sustainable educational and agricultural opportunities, and support healthy living. The team bridges the gap between local farmers, schools, and the community to cultivate a healthy environment where every person can live a life of well-being, success, and purpose. We will work to achieve our mission and vision by increasing farm-to-school awareness and initiatives, promoting healthy living, and providing agricultural and nutrition education experiences. To maintain sustainability of our team and farm-to-school initiatives throughout the region, we feel it is vital to look at both short and long-term goals. Some of these goals include achieving positive changes in well-being behavior and knowledge, supporting local producers and the economic resilience of rural communities, increasing local procurement efforts, including farm-to-school activities within district wellness guidelines or policies, and growing the awareness and recognition of farm-to-school efforts. To help us reach our goals, we felt the importance of developing a regional Harvest of the Month program. A calendar has been created that offers 2 produce options per month, tying into our regional growing season. In the future, we will be offering schools and community partners a series of videos that will be both in the kitchen and on the farms across Northeast Indiana for each of the 24 fruits and vegetables found on the calendar. We are also looking to develop monthly curriculum materials and activities for educators, as well as work alongside the school food service directors to integrate special menu offerings. Another initiative we decided to take on this year was the Apple Crunch, and Northeast Indiana wanted to do more than in years past. We encouraged everyone to participate in the fun: organizations, families, friends, schools, whether in person or virtual. And if they were able to participate, we asked for them to share their experiences with us using pictures, videos, stories, and recipes. Are you interested in learning more about the Northeast Indiana Farm to School team? Want to get your school or your family involved? We would love to have you. Check out our website for more details.